Hey, this is Claire, your beauty business coach, and we are going to be answering some beauty business questions sent to us by our esthetician student, Alex. Stay tuned for some excellent information on how you can rock your beauty business. So before we get to the questions, if you are not ready to hire a personal business coach, then stay tuned to the end of this video so that you can find out how to get your questions featured on the next segment with your beauty business coach. This first question is asked by Alex, an esthetician, and she said, what is a good site for taking notes on your clients? Note, I will be using an iPad. Alex, this is an excellent question, and the answer is pretty simple. You only have two options. You can use the booking site, website, or booking system that you use, which we're going to talk about in her next question or two, or you can do a secondary note-taking process. Both have pros and cons. The pros of using the booking system and taking your notes directly into the booking system is that the client books, they enter their information, a profile is created, you do the service, you're able to record data right into that client's profile. They don't see it on their end, but you have a history and a record, including prices, services, all in one place. If that is something that is not offered by the booking system you choose and it's not really a big deal for you, then you can do a secondary system like GoodNotes or Notability or genuinely any type of note-taking system that you'd like. You could have a digital system to take your notes. So after each service, our students go in and they fill out a form about each client that they did that day, the service, what they used, what they recommended, so on and so forth. That form can then be downloaded and put into a folder separate on your device or on Google Drive that you can store for each client that you have. The pros to this is that if you change booking systems or services or it goes down, you always have the client's actual folder to rely on. The bad part about it is that you're now using two secondary systems that have to be audited and balanced. So, in summary, the best answer is going to be what works best for you. Do you want everything to be housed and encompassed into one place? Or would you like to have a secondary backup system that you can use? In my personal opinion, being new to the beauty business, I would recommend having a booking site or system that allows you to take client notes. That way, if you're using an iPad, your phone, your booking system is as easy as www.whateveryourbookingsystemis.com, and you will have everything that you need on every client that you've ever seen all in one place. What is the best scheduling app? StyleSeek? Instead of answering this question with a list of potential apps that you can use, I'm going to give you a process that is sure to allow you to pick the best scheduling app or website for yourself. So, write this down. I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions, and those answers are going to allow you to pick the best site for you. So, the first question, what is it that you envision for your business? How small or big do you want it to be? How easily do you want it to be managed? Is it just going to be you, a solo practitioner, or are you eventually going to have other staff members? The next question, do you want to be able to run this business from anywhere in the world? So you can use an iPad in Mexico or your cell phone in France. Whatever it is, where are you going to be running this business, and how easily do you want to be able to access your scheduling systems, your scheduling app? The third question is going to be, are you going to have front desk or admin help? Will it just be you, the solo practitioner, and you, the solo admin? Or will you be a solo practitioner with an admin support who answers your phones, books your appointments? Or will you eventually have a full salon or beauty business where you have an admin and a front desk team, you have practitioners that work under you and yourself? What is your ultimate goal? So those questions, once you've answered them, write them down. Then I want you to go to straight up Google and Google booking sites for beauty businesses. So go to Google, booking sites for beauty businesses. I want you to then go to 3 or 4, whatever 3 or 4 you like, write them down, and I want you to look at the features, the pricing, and overall how you use it. There are some that require you to download an app and your client has to download an app. There's some that are web-based, so there is an app, but they can do it from the web or an app itself. There are some that are software-based that you have to download software, so on, so forth. Then, of course, pricing. What type of system is it? Is it a monthly price? Is it a yearly price? If it's software, do you pay for the software once? Do you pay for each service provider that is under the booking site? Can it be attached to your website? All of those things are going to be answered in the product features, right? So each one of those booking companies are going to have a page that lists the features and what comes with what. After you have answered those questions, and if you need to replay this, write the questions down. After you've answered those questions, Google booking sites for beauty businesses, pick 4, find the features, the pricing, everything that it has to offer. Based on the answers to those questions, you are looking for a site that can check majority, if not all, of your boxes. Okay? Whatever site checks the majority, if not all, of your boxes, go with that one. Most of these companies have free trials. You've selected 4. From that 4, if 2 of them check most of the boxes and they're pretty even and both of them have a free trial, take a week, do a free trial, have friends or family test booking sites, booking through you test adding an appointment manually. Anything that you need to do, go in, test it, run it as if you're running your business, and then choose from there. The reality of it is that you can change this at any point, but ultimately, if you get it right the first time, it'll make your life a lot easier. And to get it right the first time, you have to answer those questions that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So the best scheduling app, StyleSeat, well, it depends on what it is that you need. Should I have a consent form for every service I have, or just make it general? This is an excellent question coming from Alex, the esthetician, and the answer is you should have a consent packet. Consent forms / consent packets should be a living document that is updated and changed with the kind of services that you're offering. The whole point of a consent form is to make sure the client understands the process and that they can answer their history, their medical history, genuinely, honestly, and it features the contraindications of the service. So with that said, if you offer 4 different types of service, I'm going to use esthetician in this example. You offer lash extensions, eyebrow waxing, Brazilian waxing, and facials up into chemical peels. Each one of those things have different contraindications, different medical history information. So what I would recommend is to consider your consultation packet a living document that has segments for each and everything that you offer. Of course, facials and a basic facial and a chemical peel don't need 2 separate sections. You just need to make sure the facial section of your consultation packet includes and up into services like chemical peels, maybe microderms, whatever it is that you're offering. Same with eyebrow waxing. If you're going to do just waxing and you're not going to include tinting, then you may not need to include that into that part of the packet, right? You just need to include the information for waxing. But this should be a consent packet that encompasses all of the services that you offer. You should have one of them. I recommend it being digital and not a piece of paper, so that the response can be kept digital and put right into the client's file. But it should be a single packet, not different ones for every service that you offer. Continuing with the consent form conversation, For the consent form, can I just have them sign it once a month and have it be for everything? Or should I have them sign a new one each appointment? Excellent question. And you should have them sign the consent form, consent packet at the initial appointment. And then every subsequent appointment from there, you should be asking the client to initial date or sign and date that nothing has changed, and they acknowledge that everything is still the same. You reviewed the information again, and they are still safe to get this service. If you are the kind of person who is seeing your clients on a quarterly basis, or you don't see them consistently, there's nothing wrong with making them do a brand new consent form every time. But for the sake of repeat business, in my professional opinion, I would just have a section where they could sign off that they've updated the information. So, very first appointment, they come in, they do the consent packet. Every appointment from there, there's a document that says nothing has changed. We've reviewed the consent form, initial date. This is the service that they're getting. And I would just continue it like that to promote clients being repeat clients. But there's no wrong way. You can do it either way. When I do my pricing, should I make my facials one price and that would include everything? What would be a good range for pricing? I've done some research and it seems they vary from $80 to $200 depending on the services you are seeking. This is a great question, and just like the other process, when it comes to this, I can't answer exclusively. I can give you a process, and this is the process that I would recommend. Go to write down these questions to ask yourself, and then you'll need the next step. So the first question you're going to ask yourself is, how much money do I personally want to make each month, each year? Then you're going to ask yourself, how much is it going to cost me to run my business? So how much is my rent, utilities, internet, so on and so forth. Now you can guesstimate if you're brand new and you don't have any of that information. Go ahead and guesstimate, but how much is it ultimately going to cost you to run this beauty business? From there, you need to ask yourself, how much does it cost me to do each one of the services on my menu? So if you have 10 services, for every service, you need to calculate how much it costs you in product, how much it costs you in single and multi-use items to do that service. If you don't know how to do that, it's a great question. Submit it so that we could talk about it in another video. But ultimately, you need to find out how much it costs you to roughly do each one of your services. The next and last thing that you need to do is, based on the location you're going to be located, is you need to find 3 to 5 businesses in the same area offering similar things as you. Find the lowest end price, find the highest end price. You're going to take that information to try to make sure you set yourself up within a quality range. You don't want to be the lowest and you don't necessarily want to be the highest, depending on what you're offering. Now, if you are the most expensive but you're offering the most, then great. If you are the least expensive but you're only offering, a very simple laid down version of it, also great. You just need to have that on paper. Once you've answered all of those questions, you can then get a number that's going to let you know what you need to make monthly, which you can then divide by the number of days you want to work each month and the number of hours you then want to work each day to figure out how much your service tickets need to be in order to sustain. So if you want to make $10,000 a month, because that's going to cover your personal expenses and your beauty business bills and allow you to repurchase retail and items that you're going to need for the services, then if you're working 5 days a week, 4 weeks out of the month, that is 20 days of opportunity. If you're working a 5-hour shift, that's 5 hours of opportunity times 20 days a month. You need to make $10,000 within that range of time. These are the services you offer. In order for me to hit that goal, I should be able to do 5 facials a day at $120 a facial to hit the goal. Now, of course, those aren't actual numbers, but if you go through the process that I just laid out and replay the video, write down the questions and then answer them, then you're able to better price your services for your mental well-being, for the success of your business, and ultimately so that you know your numbers. It's not about what is best for the necessarily neighborhood, but ultimately what's going to help your business to thrive. Let's talk beauty business money, guys. What was the app you recommended for like accounting? This is a great question because ultimately at the end of the day, we're in this to make a living. So we should be intimately aware of, just like the last question, how much our services cost us and how much we want to make, but also managing that money. So to answer this question, it's going to be twofold. And the first part is understanding the difference between accounting and an accountant and bookkeeping. So the service that I recommend for bookkeeping is going to be QuickBooks. I absolutely love QuickBooks. Essentially what they do is they audit every transaction and every expense that I have in my account, all of my sales, every bit of my payroll, everything that I spend and receive money for. At the end of each month, they go in and balance it. They are my bookkeeper. They make sure that the money that came in properly, and the money that went out properly and is properly tracked. And then you have an accountant who typically handles your expenses, making sure that you're paying your taxes, making sure that you are utilizing the money from your business appropriately according to the IRS. So you can find accountants that do bookkeeping. Remember, those are separate. Or what I recommend is using something like a QuickBooks, which I do absolutely love QuickBooks Live. I recommend QuickBooks because no matter what accountant I use, the information is always balanced and audited monthly for one simple price. So throughout the year, I work with QuickBooks. They assigned me a bookkeeper. They make sure that the money comes in and goes out and is properly tracked. And then at the end of the year, my accountant files my taxes, makes sure that the IRS has been receiving their money, making sure that I am in compliance, so on and so forth. Most accountants, like I said, offer bookkeeping. The pro to doing that is one payment to one person. The con is that if you need to change accountants, then you're typically going to have to change bookkeepers. By keeping it separate from the beginning, you allow yourself some checks and balances, and you allow for a neater, simpler, cleaner process. But ultimately, I recommend for my bookkeeping, QuickBooks, and for accounting with an accountant, you would want to locate a CPA in your market that can make sure you're in compliance with the IRS at all times. All right, beauty business babes, we've reached the end of this session. Let's work together. If you're in the market for a beauty business coach, my name is Claire and I am your beauty business coach. Visit my website, go ahead and book a consultation. Let's get together, find out how I can help you be your beauty business coach and set you up for success. Not quite ready to commit to a coach? You want to submit a question for answer? It's actually very simple to do so. Go ahead and follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. In the description of the channel, you will find an email address. I want you to email your question to that email address. Include the question, of course, your name, what type of provider you are, esthetician, cosmetologist, lash artist, whatever specialty you have, and a little bit about yourself, how I can find you, your phone number, email, all of that good jazz, so that I can feature your question in the next session. Again, my name is Claire and I am your beauty business coach.